All right, everyone, the legacy media has another problem with Trump, and that's that he wants to be present at the 4th of July celebrations in D.C. And the funniest, link in the description, this is probably the funniest thing I saw written about this the other day when he, sort of when it was released. Yeah, indeed, Trump wants to, give a speech and sort of be present there and be part of that celebration. They said, well, this is horrible. The 4th of July has always been, the celebrations have always been so nonpartisan. And I'm thinking back to, literally any 4th of July. It's literally one of the most political fucking days of the year. It's because all of the politicians on the 4th of July, they come onto their favorite news network or they go on their favorite radio or podcast show or whatever. They deliver all sorts of messages. This 4th of July, my message is togetherness. This 4th of July, let us remember the troops. This 4th of July, X, Y, and Z. They do that because they're trying to message to their fans and look patriotic, be like, hey, I love America. It's never been nonpartisan, not for a very... The first couple 4th of Julys we had, probably, they discussed half of it was politics anyway. Oh yeah, we're independent from the British, yay, let's talk about how we're going to form this independent nation, what policies we're going to put in. It's always been partisan. Yeah, Bush never used the 4th of July at a grandstand for patriotism. In his case, he hadn't even helped the country. At least Trump has accomplished things. I don't begrudge him that. They were comparing it to the time that he wanted a military parade in D.C. I'm like, that would have been fine too. It's like, one thing, make Trump pay for it himself out of pocket. That's the only thing. You want a military parade, you've got plenty of money. It's not going to cost that much. You just have to have the troops march down and play some fucking music. Here's a tank, there's a rocket. Cool. I think that it would be an awesome idea too, a nice civic spectacle. And then again, I'd rather put that money towards the wall, but that's just me. Optics matter, political strategy matters, but the idea that Trump's going to give a speech and it's going to be some terrible thing, look, chances are on the 4th of July, even Trump understands the concept of decorum to the point where I don't think he would give an overtly political speech at the 4th of July celebrations in D.C. It would also be funny, imagine he's giving his speech and they accidentally start setting off the fireworks early and it drowns him out and he's all frustrated or something. Imagine Murphy's Law kicks in and it's just a shit show and it'd be hilarious and he's like, fuck it. And then he has to go back in the White House and do his address on YouTube. That'd be funny. That's the other thing. Let's say that the city of D.C. says no. And they try to stonewall him. He's okay, well, I'm going to still make my message. It's just going to be broadcast on YouTube. I'm going to have the fireworks broadcast on there too, and apparently he wants to move the venue closer to the river, like it's usually, I guess, on the mall itself, and he's trying to move it to a different location. I'm not sure why. Maybe there's more room. Maybe he expects overflow crowds or something. That does seem to happen with Trump. By the way, people are trying to enjoy themselves. They want to scarf down the hot dogs and drink beer and watch explosions, basically. That's really what the 4th of July is for most Americans, let's face it. It's not, they don't sit there and weep for their dead ancestors who fought their own government in order to preserve gun rights and the ability to petition the government, go organize and speak freely. Now, a lot of people don't really know anything about revolutionary history anyway. For them, it's pretty colors in the sky and an eagle soaring by, that sort of stuff. I just don't have a problem with this. I don't see the problem with having, the President of the United States address people. And it's likely to be exciting. People are trying to enjoy themselves. Can you imagine? They get to go see the fireworks. They get to see the President and stuff. It'll be cool for them. I would consider going. And if I didn't mind being in crowds of tens or hundreds of thousands of people and standing there for hours waiting for things to happen. Yeah, no thanks. I think I'll just watch on YouTube. It'd be more enjoyable. There's fireworks here and shit like that. Our fireworks here aren't that spectacular. By the way, if you want to see a real 4th of July, go to Texas. Because everybody and their mom is setting off explosives for about 12 hours nonstop. Even into the next day, people are sporadically setting things off. Here, it's very controlled. They have a lot of laws about it. And it's funny because where there's actually a genuine fire hazard from little kids using sparklers and shit, everything's allowed, nobody cares. Up here, though, they're highly regulated. People actually go to New York or New Hampshire in order to get their fireworks. And it's technically against the law for them in many cases to be using them. If you get those little firework kits here, the only cool stuff you're going to get are black snakes. That's the only one that somehow, I guess it doesn't count fully. It's just a kid. All it is what is it? Powdered carbon anyway. Fucking powdered sugar, basically. You light it on fire and it grows. You put some of them together and it looks like a hand stretching out of the ground. It's not exactly hazardous. My goodness, go down to Texas. It's like being in a war zone. I mean, think combat veterans should not live in Texas. Let me just put it that way. Once a year, they'll be hiding under their bed for hours, shaking and sweating. Especially if they were in the Persian Gulf and got exposed to small amounts of sarin that the government never admits to, of course. But yeah, how dare Trump want to be part of the 4th of July? How dare the President of the United States want to be part of, one of the biggest, most patriotic days in the U.S.? How dare he? It's sort of like if he wanted to be part of a Christmas celebration, I guess he's just going to Jesus it up, and he's trying to replace Santa, Trump the Grinch, and stuff like that. But then again, they even have a problem with him catering fast food to people at White House visits. It's like, where's the law that says he has to do anything differently? He sits there and eats McDonald's all day. He probably genuinely thinks people will like it. By the way, most people would. Who cares? Very, very funny. How dare the president want to address the nation? How do you know that it's going to be a political speech? They're assuming that he's going to turn it into a campaign rally. Well, in part, I'm sure it's a boost for him. His looks presidential and stuff. It's the 4th of July. I think it would be more solemn, more like remembrance and forgive your enemies sort of thing, but fight hard. Or he'll have some sort of tooled message that he'll teleprompt. It's not going to be off the cuff. He's not going to be running around up on stage talking about building walls. He might address immigration crisis. Ultimately, though, it'll be probably about, at the end of the day, we're all American stuff. Maybe he'll give a soaring speech, one for the ages. Maybe it'll be better than the Gettysburg Address. Who knows? Trump's done weirder shit. That's about all. Peace out.